Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Justin, and this time I'm bringing you a fun deck. A deck that I want to just cover because I like the Digimon. This deck is also happened to be like my chosen partner line, like, you know, the whole thing on Twitter, like you pick your Digimon partner and its evolution line. Well, the one I've always chosen, and the one I've never understood why was never used as a partner, is Pomumon, and its final evolution of BloomLordmon. So, let's take a look at what that deck looks like. Alright, before we get into the actual deck profile, I just kind of wanted to break down, this is what my chosen partner evolution path would be like. It's Pomumon into Hydramon, and then he's got the two branching evolutions. There's, you know, the standard, the good one, which would be Digitama into BloomLordmon, but then there's also the dark evolution of Pomumon and Hydramon. And this is particularly why I never understood why Pomumon wasn't used as a partner Digimon. He's got a solid evolution line, even though technically Pomumon's barely been shown, and it's never actually been shown to follow the line. But this is kind of what they are showing it to be, as far as, you know, Digimon that fit the theme, that kind of match it. These four here all came from EX3, and they have similar effects that kind of work together, so it's like they're showing that this is supposed to be the path line. And then the Digitama and the BloomLordmon, it all kind of makes sense and fits together. This is kind of the way the lore kind of plays it out to be, but it's never been official, which never made any sense to me. But we're not using these two cards in this deck. They're good cards, don't get me wrong, but they don't work as well as the current setup that is a little bit quicker not using those cards. We're going to start out with the babies. 4 copies of BT2 Argamon. On your turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, gain 1 memory. That is the inheritable effect for Argamon. So, we're going to start out with 2 copies of BT9 Pomumon. On all turns, players cannot play Digimon by effects. Then we have the 4 copies of the EX3 Pomumon. On your turn, when an effect suspends this Digimon, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then we're also running 4 copies of the BT10 Mushroommon. It's just a 2-cost easy play. And then 4 copies of BT10 Palmon. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with vegetation or plant and one of its traits, and 1 card with fairy and its traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. That plays into pretty much all the cards. And most of the Pomumon line is vegetation. And then, of course, we also have fairy, which is what BloomLordmon is. Okay, moving into the level 4s. We've got 4 copies of the BT5 Weedmon. It's a 1-cost Evo with inheritable effect. When this card is trashed, due to activating this card's Digiburst, gain 1 memory. There is no Digiburst in this. We're only running him because he's a 1-cost Evo. We're also running 4 copies of BT10's Red Vegiemon for the same reason. It is a 1-cost Evo, but it's also just a straight-up 3-cost to play. So if you happen to have him and not any rookies, you can just hard play right into it, and you're no worse for the wear. And then we got 4 copies of BT10 Sunflowmon. When digivolving by suspending one of your green Digimon, you may play 1 Digimon card with vegetation, plant, or fairy and one of its traits, and 3000 DP or less from your hand by paying its play cost. And then the inheritable effect, on your turn, once per turn, when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, draw 1. You'll notice there's a lot of suspending going on here. And that'll make a lot more sense as we get into the level 5s. There's gaining memory when you suspend, there's being able to draw when you suspend, and then of course this one, you can suspend another Digimon in order to play anything that is plant, vegetation, or fairy with 3000 or less. Both the Weedmon and the Red Vegiemon have 3000 or less. The Pomumon has 3000 or less, which it only has 2000 technically. Another Sunflowmon has 3000. Can play any of our level 4s or lower. Alright, moving into the level 5s. We have 1 copy of the BT2 Argamon with Digisorption 3. That means you can suspend another Digimon to pay for this Digimon's evolution, and because it's a Digisorption 3, it becomes a free Evo. And then this Argamon has, when attacking, you may play one level 3 green Digimon card from your hand suspended without paying its memory costs as its inheritable effect. That's the reason why this Argamon got limited to 1 copy, but it's still a good copy. And then we're running 3 copies of the BT3 Blossomon that also has the Digisorption 3, making it a free Evo. Then we're running 2 copies of the BT10 Cherrymon that has Digisorption 2, which is different, but this one has an additional effect where that one does not. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when the opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target of attack to one of your suspended Digimon. It's good to be able to kind of control where your opponent is going. You can keep them from attacking your security, you can keep them from attacking a weaker Digimon and aim it towards a stronger one. Being a Digisorption 2 means it is a 1 cost Evo, so still not bad. And then to wrap it up, we're running 3 copies of the BT10 Hydramon. Main, once per turn, by suspending one of your green Digimon, you may play 1 Digimon card with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of its traits, and 3000 DP or less from your hand without paying its cost. Just like the Sunflowmon, same effect, but you can do it once per turn instead of when Digivolving with Sunflowmon. And then on your turn, once per turn, when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, gain 1 memory. That is an inheritable effect. So we're gaining all sorts of extra effects popping off because of Digisorption, and then because of what we're going to get going into our level 6s. So what we've all been waiting for, the big bad of the deck, 4 copies of the BloomLordmon. So when Digivolving, you may suspend one of your Digimon, then gain 1 memory for each suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of their traits that you have in play. If you gain 2 or more memory by this effect, unsuspend this Digimon and it gains Piercing for the turn. What that means is, even if you have 1 Digisorption that you use, you can suspend another Digimon. Because you also get to suspend BloomLordmon when it Digivolves, you are guaranteed to have at least 2 suspended. You get to gain a memory for each, so it becomes a 2 cost evolution instead of 4, and you get to go ahead and unsuspend it again, and it gains Piercing for the turn. And then on your turn, for every 2 suspended Digimon you have in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP and gains Security Attack plus 1. So the more cards you have suspended, the more powerful BloomLordmon becomes. We're also going to be running 2 copies of the EX3 Hydramon. When Digivolving, you may suspend 1 Digimon, and on all turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended, for each other suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in one of their traits that you have in play, gain 1 memory. And then, at the end of your turn, once per turn, if you have 2 or more suspended Digimon with Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy in their traits, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. So, what that means is if you decide instead of going into BloomLordmon, you go into Hydramon, you can use Hydramon to suspend another Digimon. And then, if your opponent suspends a Digimon, like say they're attacking, you get to gain a memory for each of your suspended Digimon in this deck because they pretty much all meet the Plant, Vegetation, or Fairy trait. And at the end of your turn, you can return your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their deck. And then, to wrap it up, we got 2 copies of the BT8 Shivamon. On your opponent's turn, while all of your Digimon are suspended, your opponent can't use option cards. And then when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. It's just a good other level 6 option. You'll notice there are no tamers in this deck. This deck is very cheap to Digivolve, cheap to play. You don't really have to spend a whole lot of memory to get up into your level 6, and we have ways of gaining memory that we don't necessarily need to waste a turn or to play a tamer. So we don't have tamers, but we're going to go directly into our options. 3 copies of the Green Memory Boost, 1 copy of the Hidden Potential Discovered. This is pretty much in every green deck I've showed, so we know what these do. We got 1 copy of Smashed Potatoes. Its main effect for the turn, the next time you would Digivolve one of your green Digimon from level 5 to level 6, you can decrease the cost by 2. What this means is for a card like BloomLordmon, right, you get to reduce its evolution to 0, but BloomLordmon also gains 2 memory back, so it basically helps you cover the cost of the smashed potatoes, and you gain a free evolution out of it. And then we're gonna run 2 copies of the Samadhi Santi. It's a 1 cost to play. On main effect, you may suspend one of your Digimon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Your opponent's cards suspended by this effect cannot unsuspend until the end of your next turn, which is great because you can suspend pretty much any of your Digimon and suspend any of theirs. There is no limitation here, so you could suspend a level 3 to suspend their level 6, whatever. And then it's stuck for a turn, so it's always a good option card to have. Alright, so as far as how to play the deck, we're going to start off with Hydramon, build into our Pomumon. Ideally, you'd want to get into your Sunflowermon. It is a 2 cost versus the 1 cost red veggie. So red veggie is a little bit quicker, but there's a reason why we'd want to do the Sunflowermon, because when you Digivolve into it, you get to play another Digimon, like say Palmon, for free. That way you can get that extra search off. Or you could play into one of your level 4s. Doesn't really matter, either or. Palmon's a good choice because of the searching effect, but going into a level 4 does get you 1 step higher on that evolution line. From here, you'd want to go into your Hydramon or one of your other Digizorptions so you can suspend Palmon and get it for free. But if you don't have the Hydramon or one of the other Digizorptions, getting into Agitarmon is a good option as well, because you could always suspend one of your other Digimon and play another one. And if you do that, when you get into your BloomLordmon, you can suspend one of your Digimon. So say suspend Red Vegemon. You get to gain 1 memory back for each of these, and because you gain 2 memory, BloomLordmon gains piercing. And then because you have 2 suspended Digimon in play, he gains an extra 2000 DP, making him 14k, and an extra security attack. This would be the ideal, most powerful way to get in, because BloomLordmon is strongest at that point. But the quickest and cheapest way would be to go from Pomumon to Red Vegemon or Weedmon, because it's a 1 cost Evo. You want to try to maybe play like a Mushroomon on the side so that you can go into Hydramon and suspend the Mushroomon to get a free Evo. And then from there, go into your BloomLordmon and use it to suspend itself. And then you get to gain your 2 memory back, unsuspend it, it gains piercing. You just don't get the extra security attack or extra 2000 because you only have the 1 suspended Digimon. Other than that, you could choose to go into like Hydramon instead of BloomLordmon. He's also a good option. Or the Shivamon. Alright guys, this is going to be it for this deck profile. If you liked the video, do me a big favor. Hit that like button. It does help circulate the video around YouTube and show it to other people who also enjoy the Digimon TCG. And if you're interested in following along with things that I do, deck profile videos, unboxing videos, whatever. The best way to do that is to also hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You can also follow me over on Twitter, where I, do card translations, but I also post anytime a video goes live. So that's another way you can keep up with what I'm doing. If you want to join a like-minded community, I also have a Discord server where people, chat it up, talk about deck building and different techniques, and we also have a webcam so you can play test your decks. We hold tournaments occasionally. We'd like to hold them more often, so the more members we get, the more that is likely to happen. I also have a Digimon RPG game that I am building inside of Discord that you can actively play it right now. So I need people to come in, kind of help play test it and let me know if there are any bugs going on. So if that's something you're interested in, link to that and all the other stuff I've mentioned are in the description down below. And lastly, if you're looking to get yourself some Digimon TCG gear and you also like to help support the channel, check out my Etsy store. Link is also in the description. On there, I've got, all kinds of different playmats. I make custom metal memory counters. I have custom card packs. So there's a little bit of something for everybody there. Alright, thank you for watching, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.